Okay, WWE, I can honestly say, and I think I'm not alone when I say this, because I know everybody that's going to be talking about this, live streaming this, recording this to premiere in a few moments or whatever. I think I'm not alone when I say this, WWE, but you gone and lost your damn mind. You have. Because, you know, when a very reliable source, you know, tells someone like Sean Ross Sapp and Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, whether you like the guy or you don't, you trust the guy or you don't. You know, basically when they tell very reliable, you know, wrestling insiders, hey, this is probably going to happen, you know, keep an eye out. You know, I think fans always, you know, buckle themselves in, strap themselves in for the worst. Or maybe not for the worst. Or maybe for the least worst. But today is one of those days that people look at the list of names here and they could say without a shadow of a doubt that November 4th, 2021, Thursday, November 4th, 2021, will be known as Black Thursday in some ways, or a grayish Thursday. Now, some of these names have already gone out on Twitter, on the social media, and pretty much, I guess you could say, are in their own kind of way showing their elation because of the release. Because now they're free to potentially go elsewhere. But the catch is some of these names have a 30-day non-compete clause, which is easier for them to potentially go where they want to go or they feel they'll be more appreciated. While others, like some that are from the main roster, because there are some from the main roster, those basically will be 90 days, which means they got from now, they've got December, which makes it 30, January, which makes it 60, February. They got till the beginning of February before, you know, they are potentially able to go wherever they want. And I will talk about that in just a moment. But again, WWE, you've gone and lost your damn mind with this list of people, because even though I see it here on the screen, I'm going to read it off to you guys right now who was released. And you tell me if this makes any sense to you. Get a load of this. The names released, and there are probably more being released according to sources, whether you believe them or not, because when you try to click on them, the links aren't working. So I don't know if whether or not there's going to be more releases as we speak. We can continue watching, because PW Insider is saying a former Retribution member was released. I think we know who that is, because the name's already on here, and they're saying other releases. So pretty much I think we got every release right now for today, for this grayish Thursday, November 4th, 2021. Even though some talents, like I said, you know, expressing on social media elation. But here's who was released. Frankie Monet, aka Taya Valkyrie, who's already gone on social media and basically, you know, commented on Twitter, Taya Valkyrie. That's all she put. Basically stating she's back. Ember Moon, Athena, formerly known as Athena before coming to WWE. She'll be going back to that soon. And she was recently in NXT. She had been on the main roster. She'd been in NXT, went to the main roster, back to NXT. So I don't know what her contractual status is, but we'll find out. Jessi Kamea, who was on television for a bit, she's out. Katrina Cortez, who was part of LFI, she's gone. Jet Rama, you know, they're gone. Oney Lorcan, he's gone. So Danny Burch could be next down the line. Trey Baxter, he's gone. Zayda Ramier, gone. Scarlett Boderix, Lady Scarlett, she's gone. That was a surprise. And then this was another surprise. B-Fab, gone. Yeah, B-Fab of Hit Row, who just got drafted to the main roster, called up to the main roster, appeared with them, you know, on the official debut match for SmackDown. B-Fab, gone. Both her and Katrina, who were basically in a kind of a rivalry a little bit in NXT before B-Fab went to the main roster, they're both gone. Gran Metalik and Lince, Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado of Lucha House Party, they're gone. Karrion Kross, formerly Killer Kross, gone. So Scarlett and him, both gone. Harry Smith, who signed on signed a main roster contract, he's gone. I guess he can go back to MLW if he wants to. Nia Jax, who was written out of the storylines, written off screen because of an injury thanks to Shayna Baszler. Nia Jax, who was recently a women's tag team champion with Shayna, and then was injured by Shayna, written off television, probably meant to come back to feud with her. She's gone, which, believe it or not, a lot of people, whether you agree with this or you don't, are elated that that's, the result. Eva Marie, gone. Yep, Eva Marie of Evolution, who brought in Piper Niven as Dewdrop. She's gone. So fans are happy about that. But then get this. Keith Lee, who was gone for a while, because of illness, COVID and all that, fighting for his life, and his girlfriend, Mia Yim, both released. And Keith Lee was going through like I say, he came back. He was still he's still known as Limitless, then they changed it to Bearcat. And Mia Yim we hadn't seen for a while. We thought she was going to show up on Raw. She's gone. And these releases, I'm telling you right now, what's the point of having a WWE draft if the only reason for the draft is to ensure behind the scenes that you have your hands on all this talent, all these people, so that basically, and I'm just checking something there, so basically someone like, let's say, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, can't say anything when you decide to release them because he has no power. What's the point? What's the point of having a draft if all the draft is just a way of saying, we've trapped them, and now we will release them and teach Triple H a lesson. If that's the only reason. Why? Why have a draft? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense in the least if part of the main reason, if not one of the main reasons of having a draft is to release talent later on. It don't make sense. It don't. I mean, you just signed Taya Valkyrie this year. And you were basically pushing her to be the NXT Women's Champion, and you blew that. And then you had to lose to the debuting Cora Jade, who got her ass kicked in by a psychotic Dakota Kai. Or now, who's basically her gimmick is twitchy psychotic. Straight Jacketville, if you will. Ember Moon, who you've been wanting for a while, former NXT Women's Champion, you were pushing or attempting to push on the main roster. Injuries didn't help and all that still. And you were trying to, reevaluate her or basically repackage her, let her go back to NXT, let her do what she wants to do there. Now you release her. It's just crazy. I mean, some of these I can understand because you really didn't do much with them, to begin with. I mean, you tried to put them into positions like Cortez with LFI and, B-Fab, who I think really had potential to be like a voice for Hit Row. I can understand that, you didn't have much to do for them, so you figured we'll release them, probably bring them back later. Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado, I can understand maybe, them. Gran Metalik, he's been wanting his release. He actually said he's free now. Lince Dorado wanting it too, probably wanting to go back to CMLL or AAA so they can have more freedom to compete. I can understand maybe those guys being released because they wanted it, or at least one of them did. So I can understand that. Karrion Kross, though, and Harry Smith. I mean, why resign Harry Smith, to a contract if you're not going to put him on television as part of the SmackDown brand, which you were going to do, or part of the NXT UK brand? Why put him on television if you're just going to release? Why resign him if you're just going to release him? Doesn't make sense. And then Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett are big ones because, why push a guy that, pretty much reports said Vince was high on and everything, and was willing to go through this gimmick change, or these various changes for his gimmick when he got to the main roster, only to release him along with Scarlett, who you should have brought up with him in the first place. It doesn't make sense. And then Nia Jax and Eva Marie. Look, Nia Jax, say what you will about her, she did have a presence. Yeah, she can be, she was, a market for memes like the and oh my hole and all that. But she had a presence. When you saw her, you knew not only was she related to The Rock, but you knew she was part of WWE's women's division. She had a presence. Yeah, she may have been she may have been uncoordinated in the ring at times, and got sloppy and a little bit more physical and stiff when she shouldn't have been. But still, she had that presence. She had that presence that basically, if you given her enough more seasoning, you could have had a monster face or heel in your women's division on your hands. And then Eva Marie, why bring her back if you were just gonna do the same gimmick you did before? All you did was update it by saying, basically update it by having her essentially hire someone to do the work for her, who basically got sick and tired of it, and now she's doing her thing. She's not released, but yet Eva is. Why bring somebody back if you're going to do the same gimmick? The only thing is you're going to tweak it by having her hire somebody to do the work for her and get the wins for her. What sense does that make? If you're just going to, not do anything with it, later on. I don't understand. And then Keith Lee and Mia Yim. Keith Lee is a former North American champion and NXT champion. He was main event status at your doorstep. He was competing as soon as you brought him up to the main roster in upper mid card, main event level type matches for the WWE title, Universal title. He was literally at your hands, and you let him go. And Mia Yim, Jade, in other places. That's a talent. That's a talent that speaks to your Asian audience and everything. Well, why release them? What, because of budget cuts? John Laurinaitis is calling up saying, "Oh, we're releasing you because of budget cuts. Bye. Oh, releasing you because of budget cuts. Bye. Budget cuts. Bye. Budget cuts. Bye. Budget cuts. Bye. Budget cuts." Here's my thing. Why even consider signing anybody to a contract? Why even allow Triple H when he had the opportunity, and still does to a point, but why even have Triple H sign any of these people to NXT that you're going to bring up to the roster if you're going to release them anyway? It doesn't make sense. You might as well, if you're John Laurinaitis or Bruce Pritchard, just tell Triple H, yeah, Hunter, the truth is, these releases weren't really budget cuts, and and neither were the ones that we did earlier either this year. You know what they really were? These releases were all punishment directed towards you to teach you a lesson that when your father-in-law Vince McMahon tells you to beat AEW, you beat and destroy AEW. And now let this be a lesson, because if we give you back control of NXT, you better destroy all Elite Wrestling and put them out of business. They might as well tell that to him. They might as well tell that to Hunter. That this is what it really is. They might as well come out and say that's what this really is to everybody. This is punishment to Triple H for not doing his job and beating AEW on Wednesday nights, thus getting themselves moved to Tuesday nights. They might as well tell him that, and then that guy acted out there, parody there. They might as well also tell him, hey, we're going to give you a second chance. We're going to move NXT back to Wednesday night, and this time you destroy AEW, and then we'll leave you alone. Is that what it's going to take? Is that what this is about? Is that what this really is about? To teach Triple H a lesson that, hey, when we tell you to annihilate somebody, you annihilate them? What? Again, why even allow him to sign these people if you're not going to want them around much longer? And maybe, as some people say, you don't know what you're going to do with them. It don't make sense that when you see something like this, And yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be financially well. But why do any of this if you're not... Why bring them up to the main roster? You know, why do it? You know, if you're just going to release them from the contracts because, oh, we have nothing for them. It don't make sense. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you had freaking Keith Lee going one-on-one with Roman Reigns. The guy that's the freaking face of your company right now. Lord almighty. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen here? There are some names on there that I got a feeling are going to get the Samoa Joe treatment. Remember, Samoa Joe got released earlier this year. Triple H fought to bring him back. Don't be surprised if news comes out and Triple H finds out about what happened with Lee and Mia and Kross and all of them. Don't be surprised if you start hearing that Triple H is responsible for Lee coming back, for Yim coming back, for Kross coming back, for Scarlett coming back, because he will be. He'll be responsible for them returning. He's going to say, if you're not going to do anything with them, I still have say in NXT, despite what people may believe, because he does. You know, he'll bring them back. He'll put them in NXT, and he says, don't you bring them up unless you have something ready for them. And that's it. That is it. I'm not going to be surprised by that. I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing something like that, happen again. Because Joe came back because Hunter wanted him back. Hunter's going to fight tooth and nail again to get some of these people back. Guarantee it. And here's what's interesting, though. Out of all these names, Frankie Monet, Scarlett, Trey Baxter, Katrina Cortez, Zayda Ramier, Ember Moon, maybe, Jessi Kamea, Jeet, Rama, Oney, Lorcan, and Scarlett. Like I said, and I think even I said at the beginning, Frankie Monet, they all have 30-day non-compete clause. You know what that means? Expect them to show up in Impact, MLW, and AEW after Thanksgiving. In fact, let me tell you exactly what I think it could happen. Today's the 4th, right? AEW Dynamite people, mark your calendars for December 8th. That's when you're going to see some of these names. People that attend the Impact tapings, mark December 9th, if you will. Or whatever time frame. December 9th or December 16th. Actually, December 16th. Mark your calendars for around that time. Because that's when you'll see some of these names. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. In fact, I'll tell you something. Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, I think it's a given. She's all elite. She is all elite. Jessi Kamea, she's all elite. Katrina Cortez, Impact. Jeet Ramier, Impact. Oney Lorcan, all elite. Trey Baxter, Impact. Zayda Ramier, Impact. Scarlett, all elite. Ember Moon, that's a good question because when she first started with NXT, she was 30 days. Went up to the main roster, she became 90 days. And then she went back to NXT. We don't know what that contract status is. She could be under the 90-day clause. She could be 30 days. But I guarantee you this. If she's 30 days, if it went from 30-day non-compete to 90-day non-compete to now 30, or back to 30, then I would say December 8th on AEW Dynamite, expect Athena to debut. That's a guarantee. Expect it. Expect it to say Athena is all elite. Expect that to happen. But if she's 90 days, then that's where it gets interesting. That's where it gets interesting because here's the thing. Metalik, Dorado, Karrion Kross, Harry Smith, Nia Jax, Eva Marie, Keith Lee, and Mia Yim, and potentially asterisk next to her name, Ember Moon, you know, are 90-day non-compete clause contracts. Unless we have a similar situation with Aleister Black where basically they didn't restructure his and it was still the NXT standard 30 days. Unless that was, you know, unless that's the case, don't expect any of these people to show up anywhere else until the beginning of February. And you know why I say that? Because that gives WWE plenty of time, and mostly, like I said earlier, Triple H plenty of time to re-sign some of these talents and get them into the Royal Rumble matches. Yeah. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. If Ember Moon didn't have her non-compete clause contract restructured back to 30 days from 90, then, you know, if she's still under the 90-day deal, expect her not to show up anywhere until February 5th. And if anything, expect her to be back in WWE by the time the Rumble comes around, because they're going to need some women for that Women's Royal Rumble match. And you know it. And if that's not all, Keith Lee, like I said, and Mia Yim, Kross, you know, Triple H is going to fight to bring them back. And I guarantee you this. He will try to fight to bring them back in time for the Rumble as well. I guarantee you it's going to happen. You know, that's why WWE released them, you know, at this time when you really think about it. Because they know what they're doing. They'll bring them back just to screw with them and screw with us. They'll say all the right words. They will say all the right words. They'll look at Keith Lee and be like, you know, Keith, you know, we made a mistake in firing you. We're bringing you back. We're going to give you a big push, but we have something we want you to do as well for us. And Keith will be like, well, what do you want me to do? Well, we have this new theme for you. Listen. And then they'll play the new theme, and at the beginning of the theme, you'll hear this, roar. And then Vince or Bruce or Laurinaitis will be like, yeah, so that's what we need you to do, Lee. When you come out and you hear that roar, we want you to lean back and go, roar. And Lee will probably look at him and be like, why? And then one of them, if not all three, we could go like, because it's a gimmick that makes money. Money, 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 money. It's it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I would not be surprised that that's what happens. That if Triple H doesn't bring them back, they'll bring them. That Vince, Laurinaitis, and Pritchard will bring some of these people back that are under the 90-day deal, 90-day non-compete deal. Just to screw with them, screw with us. They'll say the right words to them. They'll say they'll do this for them, only to basically say, yeah, we didn't really have anything really planned for you. We just wanted to re-sign you to make ourselves look good, and also we needed some bodies for the Royal Rumble. That's why we brought you back. And you know, and people probably wonder why I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to anymore. I mean, when I do, because I hear it's good, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If someone says SmackDown tomorrow night is good, I'm watching it. If someone says Dynamite's good, I'm watching it. If somebody says Rampage is good, I'm watching it. Heck, if somebody says Raw is good, I'm watching it. But when I see things like this, you know, it confirms why I'm still a wrestling fan, but I don't watch it as much as I used to anymore. I'll still watch the pay-per-views. I mean, I'm going to try to watch Full Gear. There's no doubt. I will watch Full Gear just to potentially see that big title change. But that's about it. You know, I'll watch Survivor Series. But why should I watch it weekly if basically anybody I want to get behind is not going to be there? I'm just saying. But what do you guys think about this? What are your thoughts on this massive list of releases and potentially more to come in the near future? What are your thoughts? You know, give me your thoughts down below in the comments. Live chat during the premiere, your thoughts. Like the video. Check out the Teespring store. Check me out at BW Rose's Discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at BW Roses on VENMO. Check out my Patreon at BW Roses. And also check me out on Venmo if you want to help donate there as well. But again, I said this at the beginning. I'll say this now. WWE, on behalf of everybody that's probably going to tell you this in other videos and live streams, you've gone and lost your damn mind.